But there was one girl, she was a refugee. She had just come with her family. So me, obviously, because I can't keep my mouth shut, I was like, yeah, well, what's better, Canada or Afghanistan? Like, would you like being here? What she said really caught me off guard. And I was like crying on the way home.
Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Cousin
Connection Podcast.
And yes, just to address our inconsistency, I know we always talk about it.
We missed another week. We know.
Yeah,
we know.
But it was for a good reason. I was sick this time. It wasn't Sara's. I was sick, and like I was still. You can ask Sara. Like I was still gonna try and come. Like I was like, we can still try and make it work.
Should I play them the voice note you sent me?
Oh no!
Because he literally sent me a voice note. He goes, "Yeah, so my voice doesn't," and I'm like, Amir, literally, do not show up. Like, if you get sick, I get sick, and I was hosting an iftar with all of the cousins at my house, and so I wasn't trying to, get sick.
But alhamdulillah, we're back.
Yeah.
And we're back with a guest.
Yay!
Assalamu alaikum, everybody.
Wa alaikum salam. So today we have Mariam Shah. Yeah, is that how you say it?
It's Shahsamand, but I just say Shah.
Oh,
It's
okay.
quicker and easier.
Got it.
This is kind of like our first time interacting, but I feel like you and Sara go way back at this point. Like you guys have been interacting.
Well, we've been interacting with her without you probably didn't realize it was her.
Like knowingly.
Yeah.
Because this is actually someone who regularly watches the podcast and has commented, and that's the way that I've kind of replied in a way. But we finally have you on the podcast.
It's good to be
It
here.
is a weird experience being here, seeing it, all the magic.
Yeah, it's kind of surreal. Like I mentioned, I am first and foremost a fan of the Cousin
You're
Connection
cousin.
Fest.
You're a cousin.
Yeah, I'm a cousin. I really do feel like the way you guys are so authentic,
Mm-hmm.
you do feel like you're having a conversation with a famamy member.
Oh, I'm glad.
Like there's nothing there that like distinguishes you from the viewer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just a screen.
Okay.
It's all that's in between.
Yeah, that's just because you
but
don't see all the stuff I cut out. That's what it is.
But I think it's also alignment, right?
Yeah.
So I think our values are at the core and our
Exactly.
views, and we're all Muslim. I think that's what we share, and that's what makes it more comfortable.
Yeah.
And it's not just about being Muslim. I think it like extends beyond that too.
Yeah, it's
like
more
just good
holistic.
humans in general.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
Exactly.
But yeah, I'm a fan. And now I'm here. So dreams come true.
I know. I figured, we were chatting through DMs because I actually respond. That's shady.
I don't even respond to my own DMs. So.
He doesn't even respond to me, guys.
Yeah, for real.
But no. So we've been kind of going back and forth through DM for like a couple months now, and we were chatting, and you're doing a lot of really cool stuff, mashallah, which we're gonna get into. But it was also something new where I was telling Amir, like, we've never actually had like someone that started off just watching us to then like making it onto into our studio, if you want to call it that.
That's a very use that word very loosely. Okay. I don't know how to studio.
Something is curated and magic is created. You can call it a studio.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? And so it was kind of something new that we wanted to try, but also I think in talking to you and getting to know you, I really admire the work that you do, and I'm sure a lot of our listeners will also admire it and be inspired by what you do, especially now it being Ramadan still, and even outside of Ramadan, because we know, like, we've talked about it in previous episodes where we try to build these good habits during this month and then carry it on through the rest of the year. It's sort of like a reset for a lot of Muslims.
Yep.
And we also, if you fall off after Ramadan, it's not that we're shaming you. Obviously, like, we want to try our best. At the end of the day, we're human. And so hopefully you guys find some inspiration in this episode. And of course, I'll link Mariam's information in our description box so you can contact her for anything that we've talked about today, but also we're available too. So yeah.
Thank you.
Let's get into it.
So what do you do?
Yeah, like tell us about yourself. Who are you?
Multi-dimensional, to say the least. To start off, a small servant, serving my Lord, inspiring. There's a lot of things that inspire me, and there's a lot of quotes. And I'm not a very I mean, no, I don't think anybody's really shallow. If everyone's just busy and in their minds. I've always been someone to think freely. Even as a kid, if someone told me something, I'd just say like, okay, just to like, you know, keep peace. But I in the back of my mind, I always like question things, and I'm very curious. I'm a nerd, but I didn't. It's good to be a nerd. Nerds unite.
Exactly. Shout out to the nerds.
But it's always good to do your own research and be curious. You know, just accepting something because somebody said so is, it's okay. Like you can trust that person, but everybody gets their information from somewhere. And usually most people that I know now, the circle that I've, you know, come to encompass myself with, a lot of people are educated, kind, humble, and so I can rely and trust the words that they speak. But until you come to that point, so obviously you have to build that. So I actually questioned a lot of things. I was very respectful towards the elders. I was somewhat rebellious, but not in a bad way, but yeah, it happened like that. But yeah, so I'm a curious person. I like to find the truth for myself. And I think my life is proof of that. But yeah, essentially, I am born and raised in Canada, Toronto. I don't live in Toronto. I live in north of Toronto now. I've been there for
GTA.
GTA, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Well, I'm here often in Toronto, like Scarborough area. Like the place that I volunteer and do most of my volunteer at is at the mosque, the ACIC Center. And that's like 10 minutes from here, roughly. Oh, I don't want to give away too much. Sorry. Yeah, so I go there. Yeah, my heart's here, and hopefully in all the work that I do, inshallah. And it's not to take credit for it, but to hopefully inspire. So what I do is, I mean, obviously I have my corporate job. I work in finance, which is a very small part of me, though it consumes a lot of my time.
I feel that.
Yeah. We live in a very consumerist world. But who I am at core, servant of Allah. I love my family. I love my community. I love my students. I'm a Qur'an teacher. I teach Qur'an on Saturdays. It's a volunteer position that I hold. I've been doing this for, gonna age myself here, but at least like 14 years, I think, roughly. Wow. And during those 14 years at the Maktab, I held a position on the board for about 5, maybe 6 years. I was a director of events and logistics, and was beautiful because I'm not a very creative person, so I learned a lot, alhamdulillah. And also I basically for the past, also I would say 5 to 6 years, I've been directing and running with the team the Qur'an competitions here at our center, which expands Ontario-wide. So that's also something else that I've,
How did you get into becoming a Qur'an teacher? First of all, you're so young. So 14 years, like I imagine a little kid teaching Qur'an. And like, what's your student base? Is it mostly children? Is it adults? Is it teenagers? Like,
it's mostly kids, like school-age kids. So the answer to that question is twofold. How I got into it is one thing, and it wasn't because I loved Qur'an. Fun fact, lesser known fact. Initially. Yeah. Of course, now I'm obsessed with it. To be honest, I've always been obsessed with other languages. I tried to learn at least a little bit of other languages, but I lived in an area when I grew up, you know, when you're more conscious of things. There was not that much multiculturalism. The area is predominantly Jewish, and I'm still there. It's a good area. It's a good place to live. But of course, as you can imagine, I'm an Afghan. So I don't have a lot of Afghans, at least growing up. There were no Afghans in my area. Muslims, not many. You had to leave at least 5-10 minutes outside the vicinity to find somebody that was sort of like you or something. And coming to the masjid was my, it was my escape, but also a place that I got to connect with and see other Afghans, because I don't see them in my area, and I've never been to Afghanistan. Inshallah, one day, I pray that I can see the motherland. It's a dream at this point, but that's what it was. And so languages, going back to the topic of languages, my parents, obviously born into a Muslim family, but were never forced, alhamdulillah. Like my mom's a teacher and my dad, he did a couple years at university. Then he's very entrepreneurial. So he went off to like franchising restaurants and things like that. Yeah, he came here by himself with like his brother and a couple of cousins. They were young. They started off in Montreal, and he was the older one. Hats off to my dad, phenomenal guy, brought over a lot of his family members. He did the most. I hope I can embody half of his spirit. My grandfather. So they encouraged me to read Qur'an or learn Qur'an because the way they marketed it, my mom is a teacher, they're so smart.
Yeah.
Like, you like languages. It's just another language. Just learn it. Yeah. I was like, all
They knew
right.
you well.
Yeah,
They knew how to get to
That's
you.
rare because like parents won't pick up on what their kids like.
Yeah.
They'll just tell them do this
Yeah.
without that incentive. But the fact that they were able to like tell you to do it in a way that would you be incentivized to do it, that's actually pretty smart.
Yeah,
And-
my
and
mom.
rare. Yeah.
She's a teacher, so she's really like good with
Yeah.
those things. And she's my mom, honestly, she's I think she's an angel in the form of a human on earth. The most patient person. Like she's one of those, like now we have boundaries.
Yeah.
She knows boundaries. She doesn't care. She's like, I don't want to hurt anyone. I'm like, they hurt you. It doesn't matter. It's okay. It's okay. Everything's okay.
Yeah.
So she's one of those, like, she rather not even speak up against people who hurt her, just to make sure that they don't feel any kind of like anguish or anything like that. But
kind of like a people pleaser. You're like, eh.
yeah, but I think she's
no,
I
not in a
think-
bad way. Like that's how I am.
She's very
too.
soft.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, she
Well,
doesn't have
sometimes.
that bone in her body
Yeah.
to speak up for herself. Like she'd rather just be hurt.
Yeah.
I was a daughter that was not that. You say something to my mom and, you know, I mean, I was actually not like that the whole time. But coming back to it, that's how they advertised it.
Yeah.
And so I got into it. And then my Qur'an teacher, who is now like my older brother, the most beautiful... And like obviously I have an older brother. We're a family of 6. So I have my parents.
Wow, mashallah.
I have an older brother, Ali, and my younger brother and sister, they're twins, Muhammad and Fatima.
Oh,
Okay,
that's
big
so
family
cute.
now. Yeah.
So yes, we got the whole family of the Prophet there, and then my name was like still, you know, like a religious name,
Yeah.
but a little bit on the outskirts, but love
Still
them.
very
No,
blessed
Mariam
name.
was-
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
she's-
That's
she's, you know.
Yeah, one of the blessed women.
Exactly.
And so the other thing is my parents knew I was when I used to live in Toronto, I used to go to a school called Cordella, and they were very good with their choir group.
Okay.
So I used to want to be a singer.
I think all of us, like
These guys too.
me, his sister, we were all
Yeah.
in choir. I remember that.
I've seen Aisha. I think that's how I found you guys. I've seen her. I go off on a lot of tangents,
Yeah.
but I will
Yeah.
get to the point.
No, don't worry. Don't worry. This is what this is
This
built
is-
for.
yeah,
okay?
exactly.
I was watching one of her videos. It showed up on my feed.
Yeah.
And then I saw, I think, one of the videos, and I think it was in California where I think it was you and your other cousins, like the sisters, and you guys were answering questions on a couch.
Oh, that was our podcast. Yeah,
It was
yeah,
our
yeah.
So you- it
podcast,
was your
but
podcast.
we
Yeah.
filmed it like
We
part
did
1 on her channel and part 2 on ours.
Exactly, yeah.
So I was like, oh, this is interesting. And I've never been one for like, I'm not obsessed with movies or anything.
Yeah.
I like podcasts and I
Yeah.
like now I'm getting into ebooks because I like to read books and feel them.
Yeah.
This new tech stuff is I'm from this like I'm a millennial, but even like the tech sometimes it's just I like the
It
old
feels
school.
better, right?
Yeah.
I know. I'm the same way.
To
Yeah.
smell the book.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got into it that way, and then I saw Aisha. Like I obviously continued to follow her as well, and I did see that she was singing as at times. Like
Yeah.
and I was like, damn, she's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, imagine how she recites Qur'an. And so so because I wanted to sing,
Yeah.
I stopped, right? Because then I
Yeah.
obviously didn't work out that way. But I just went into I saw that there was an aspect of the Qur'an where you become a qari, and it's like there's different ways you can read.
Exactly.
There's
I
like
think it's
tartil.
7.
Yeah.
How many times? How many different ways? Is 7 times or?
We
7?
have maqams, and
Yeah.
then we also, but in terms of like the recitation,
Yeah.
it's called, there's tartil, which means you just read straight. It's like a little quicker, and then
Yeah.
it's like tilawat or qira'at, most people call it, and it's like you recite it with melodies, and there's obviously rules to the Quran, which is like implemented through tajweed and then,
Yeah.
like the melodies and stuff like that. And I'll get into like what we do during the Quran competition for those. So when I learned that, obviously it's a big world, the Quran world.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, that's not bad. I can like take the vocal aspect of myself and like plug it in here.
Yeah.
And then a passion grew. Took me a while.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm a late bloomer.
Yeah.
But it happened. So my parents first inspired me, and then I found the love for it, like obviously through like being a little more vocal reciting. And then I grew into the role, and I'm very analytical.
Yeah.
So I don't have a super creative side, like I was saying. But, you know, and I sometimes things that, I don't know, I like when 1 + 1 = 2.
Yeah.
When there's like gray areas, I try not to like divulge into it.
Yeah.
So you steer clear of it.
I steer clear, yeah. But I think it's a fear of mine sometimes because, but there is grays in the world, and I've come to learn that in the past, in my late 20s into my early 30s. I'm in my early 30s, but
Hey,
like
we're-
now,
we're-
yeah.
we all are, okay?
Yeah, I was gonna say like I'm not too far.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the venture. And then I went into, I think my Qur'an teacher, he suggested that I come teach. And at that time, so this is the maktab part now of what I do.
Yeah.
I started teaching, and I had to get training for that. So actually, all the teachers that train at the maktab,
Oh wow.
we got training from a teacher from the the Toronto District School Board.
Oh.
She's actually a Muslim herself, and
Yeah.
she's a teacher. Like that's her profession, and I believe her husband is as well. Like I don't think that's how he started out, but now he is.
Yeah.
Shout out Sister Sabra, and she taught a lot of us. So I mean, from where we came from, it's the maktab is at least, I want to say 20 years old, but it's involved. So I wasn't there at the beginning of maktab to learn there, but I mean, a few years later I showed up as a teacher.
Yeah.
I started with one class, and I remember my first class was a group of boys, like preteens.
Yeah.
And,
Oh my
the
God.
best age.
Yeah.
I can only imagine like how hard it is to even corral that group. Like just get them to listen.
It was, you know what the challenge was?
Yeah.
So I think right now a lot of people have evolved, and education plays a huge part of that. My people, my poor people, have come from years and years of torment and a history of like war waged against us from imperial powers and the 2 or 3 traitors from within that sold their souls and their people. And so a lot of our people come from that war-torn country, and they obviously leave for a better life. So education obviously was interrupted there quite a bit.
Yeah.
And so you have to first start with teaching the new generation.
Right.
But let's be honest, we all come from families that teach us what their traditions and their beliefs are.
Yeah.
So of course, if your family doesn't know better, they're not educated, you know, all they have to do, they're in a fight or flight mode, you know, like they don't know what to do. They just have to teach their kids like, stay safe here, this is dangerous, this and that. So a lot of the kids that I came into at that point, even the girls, they embodied that kind of fear. But some of the kids were born here, which is also different. But they're kids, so they don't know much, so they play and they get along. So that was a bit of a cultural shock for me. I've been going to the center for years, but I also had some identity issues myself because I'm a diaspora. Never been to the country, and a lot of the people are, of course, Afghan, and not a lot of them were born here. Like my parents were not born here, but they've been here the majority of their life.
Right.
So you know, they went to school here and stuff, so they've acclimated and they've obviously fulfilled their Islamic responsibilities of, you know, engaging in education and growing in that aspect. But not a lot of people have done that as immigrants. They just fled the country or refugees, and they come here searching for a better life, and they do a lot for their kids, but there's only so much they can do.
Especially if they're working like multiple jobs.
Exactly.
They don't have as much time to pay attention to what their kids are doing, basically.
Their main objective is they want to love their kids, and I'm sure they do, but their main duty is put a roof over their heads, make sure they're safe, feed them, and send them to school. And that is a blessing, and I applaud them. And and it's not just Afghans. There's so many other countries that are going through.
We can heavily relate to that too. Like, you know, a lot of our parents that immigrated here, you're right, they are in fight or flight mode, and so for them, they see it as, let's fulfill the basic needs first, while neglecting almost like their own, you know, like I feel like we've talked about this before too, but that like self-actualization that we all go through as diaspora kids here that were born and raised here, I don't know that our parents have actually ever had that luxury. And now that like we are in the ability, like we're all working, we're educated, you know, we support our parents now, even if they are still working, some of them, it's like, you want to give them those opportunities. And like I know this isn't about me at all, but I just like to be able to relate to you. A really big turning point for me was when I was able to take my parents to do Umrah, and we traveled like together. I've never traveled with both of them like that in a very long time. And so just like, although it was my first time too, it was so like rewarding to see them enjoy the experience, and then going to like, we went to Oman and Qatar afterwards as well, and just seeing them enjoy life. I'm sure they had a moment too where they were like, wow, like this is what all of it was for, like, you know, like full circle moment. And so like I feel like I can speak for both of us, like we totally relate to what you're saying.
Actually, I feel like my dad kind of had that self-actualization. He was a little bit different.
Your dad was different.
Yeah,
he was an outlier.
Like my dad, no matter how much struggle it was, he's like, we're gonna travel, we're gonna enjoy the luxuries of living where we are now, or we can go wherever we want, do whatever we want. So as children, we like traveled everywhere. We went down to Disneyland, Disney World, whatever you call it. Like
he always just like made do with what he had.
Exactly.
And even if we weren't, I remember like in the summers I would always spend my summers here because my mom was working, and so she would drop. I remember your mom would pick me up in the morning. And we would spend the whole like 2.5 months of summer here together. And so whether it was going swimming or going to Wonderland all the time, or doing like random road trips or whatever, like his dad, I feel like really allowed us to have like a childhood where we didn't feel like we were missing out. Alhamdulillah.
Exactly.
So,
alhamdulillah.
You know, we're grateful for that too.
And it's all of us. So I know you said it's not about you, but this is something that's about all of us. I think as immigrants or children of immigrants, it goes beyond just the few of us in this room or just the Afghan Community Center. But your dad, obviously, he was mentally stronger. So he saw through it, and he's like, nope, I'm not letting, like, life throws you obstacles, but it takes something, like some strength to, you know, want to move past something.
And it seems like your parents had this same strength, like to become a teacher and also to be an entrepreneur, to do all these things. Like, I feel like those things are a lot of the people who come here, the immigrants who come here, our parents, they fear doing those things because like there's more risky. Risk, there's more risk. There's they don't know if it's gonna work or not, right? But the fact that your parents were able to do that is like a blessing in itself.
They sacrificed a lot. My mom actually also has her bachelor in science, so she's I love her. She's such an educated, kind woman. I don't think I've ever expressed these words of gratitude to them. So if they ever watch this,
we're like,
you better send. You have to have a watch party for this episode.
I only told like a few people. So I told my siblings. We're all so tight knit. Which is like, I see a lot of siblings like they're not super close. Like I think it's also a cultural thing. But I do know a lot of siblings that are close. Like we're very attached to the hips. Like my brother's wife was my best friend. I mean, she still is. And so we're such a like happy little Brady bunch. And my family is actually quite large. I have like alhamdulillah so many cousins. Sometimes it gets a little chaotic, but alhamdulillah. Imagine like sometimes I see people at my work, they have like one sibling. And I'm like, that's boring.
Actually,
same.
We kind of
and no extended family. Like it's very far. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I know you have your cousins, which are like your siblings.
Exactly.
Like likewise, like from my mom's side and my dad's side, like there's a lot of us. Alhamdulillah and mashallah. But I feel so like I guess that's all they know. What they don't know can hurt them. But I think also when they see like us, like, you know, the days off that I use, sometimes I tell them like, this is for this, whatever. I'm going here. I'm doing this for this family member, or God forbid somebody passes away. Some of them are shocked. They're like, how many people? Like, you have more than 4 people in your family? I'm like,
oh yes,
this is very common.
Like holidays from work, a majority of them are used for family related things.
Weddings,
for the most part.
traveling to see family,
graduations now,
which is awesome.
Exactly.
It's such a blessing. I think sometimes people think like, I know there are some families that they quarrel. Just hash it out. Get to the fun part. Have sleepovers, go traveling together.
To hash it out.
Exactly.
It's called Sali Rahim, and you must do it. Because obviously if you don't, there's like everything that Allah has guided us and told us to do brings barakah. So even like the rules of a wife, the rules of a husband, it seems, oh my God, it's so traditional. You know, like here it's hard, obviously, some rules to fulfill here as a husband or as a wife.
Especially if we're both working. And,
but if you actually embody it and your intention is to fulfill those obligations that Allah has made incumbent upon you, there's barakah comes from it. And I've seen it like with my own eyes with people who like actually embody the obligations that Allah has put upon us. And they're so blessed. Like obviously people have struggles in life. It's not like they don't have struggles. But through those struggles they smile, they grow, and it's inspiring. And I hopefully inshallah I can get to that point one day. But
we're all working. No one's perfect. We're all working towards it.
I think
the fact that at least the fact that you're working towards it is there's barakah in that as well.
So I always say, I think actually there is an Islamic saying which is like work is like ibadah, and the reason is because if you're not working or not doing something like volunteering or doing something worth value, you're doing the opposite, which is wasting time, which is frowned upon. It's like, I don't want to say it's makruh or haram, but it's probably haram. Wasting time. You're probably causing, like mischief, so those things haram. So I mean, keeping yourself busy with working is ibadah. And these are things like, even in the month of Ramadan right now, a lot of people are working, and I know the month is flying by. We're at 19.
I know.
These are the
it's
nights
crazy.
of Qadr.
But
that for me right now, like I think the month has been tough and at first, because I think everyone was worried about like coming home and doing iftar. But and then the other part was like there's just so much going on, like so much sadness. But I, in the last 2 days, have looked at it. I said, look, I didn't have enough time to reflect after work, before iftar to come to this, and then after iftar you kind of get like your itis or whatever. You're like knockout. But even while I'm at work, I'm thinking about it, but I'm making dhikr. So it's another blessing. Yes, the enemies of Islam are attacking the Muslims all the time. But when you're thinking about it and you're praying for your brothers and sisters in the month of Ramadan where your rewards are multiplied, it is a blessing from Allah. So I think we have to obviously extend our horizons and think a little deeper. That's just one thing that I was able to derive from obviously all that's going on. And I do pray that there's some ease because it's rough, and it's always us. And I don't know, there's a lot of different perspectives, but the only thing that I can share is that one piece I know you guys have touched on, Palestine and Israel a lot. Anyone who calls on help from Israel or applauds Israel for help, I think you need to look into history, even modern history. You need to look into yesterday, literally. That state essentially created in like the mid 1900s, 1940s. The purpose of that state is to drive and bring chaos into that region. So, like everybody has a purpose. That state has a purpose. I don't want to call it a state because I don't want to recognize it. Right. But that little piece region of area and its leaders, they have a purpose. Piece of area. Why would you think otherwise? They're not there to free you. And the people backing them also created imperialism. I don't know, I think some people just want to believe in I'm different. The enemy does not see any Muslim as different. They just go for it. And I'm not I'm not a warmonger. I love peace. But Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was a very peaceful person. And I think what embodies this, like this notion, a lot of people think like there was war in Islam. There was war. However, it was never initiated by the Prophet. So because he has to embody the Qur'an, in the Qur'an, when you read it and you read the tafsir, you have to understand that you are created by Allah, which is sorry.
Did you guys hear? Is it? It'll be fine. Don't worry.
I'm scared for you.
It's fine. If it falls, it falls.
It didn't fall last week. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
Okay.
Tawakkal to Allah.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I was saying, so there's an event called Mubahila, and so I highly encourage people to read history of all kinds, but especially the history of Islam. And there was obviously like Christian leaders in Najran, and they had invited the Prophet to come. I think it was a lot more hostile, the invitation, and they thought that he would come with like an army. But the Prophet went with himself, his daughter Fatima, his groom Ali, which is our caliph or imam, whoever you believe in to be, and Hassan and Hussein. He went with his family.
Yeah,
No war. So that's the way he spread his peace, and they were shocked. Like if you read into the lyrics, if you read into the history, they were a shock, and and the Prophet actually spread Islam through his akhlaq, his rahmah. He is the embodiment of the Qur'an. So that's what we should take. However, there are times that if you or your we all love our families, and we would go to any extent
ends of the earth to protect them. Yeah,
like. I'm a very protective person. With my siblings, they're like my children, the younger ones, and even my older brother. Oh my goodness. I can't tell you how many people, like as a kid, I was a little like, don't touch my brother. Don't talk to my brother. You know,
really?
I'm very like grandmothery when it comes to my family. I still am. It doesn't stop. Like it's innate. I love my family. Imagine for your Rasul, for your Nabi, for your Wali, for your God. You know, like it extends. It's so much more. Like the cause is so much bigger. So your love should be even more, you know, than what your love for your family is. So I can't even articulate how much that love is, because like it's something you cannot measure. So when your dignity and your faith and your prophet and whoever is being, immoralized for whatever reason, you have to stand up and say something. And that's where defense comes in. So Islam says be peaceful, but you need to be dignified. So there is a saying in Islam where a death with dignity is better than a life with humility. So
no, not humility.
Living a dignified life is better than living a life filled with humiliation. Basically, there you go. Sorry. Vlog diet, I didn't get that much. I was doing some work last night. But yeah, essentially that. And these are words to live by. They're not just words thrown at the wall and just does nothing. That's Islam.
And I think, sorry.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think that's the most frustrating thing about everything that's going on in the world right now, or at least in that region, is that everything that has been done, at least everything that we are doing as Muslims in that region, is in defense. Yet it's been twisted to make it look like we are the initiators. Like you mentioned, the Prophet never initiated, but like now we're made to look like the initiators, when really everything, like especially with Palestine, that land was taken, and all they're doing is saying, hey, we just want it back. Right?
Yeah.
And same thing with like what's going on in Iran right now. They're trying to make it sound like they were the initiators. It's like, they were going to do something, so we had to do something. Exactly. And then it comes out later that when the intelligence came out with a report, they're like, they weren't actually going to do anything. They just kind of just did this themselves. So
history plays
very frustrating.
History plays a key role here. So I'm in no way supporting the Iranian regime or the government or whatever. However, in that entire region, I heard somewhere that like Iran's government is always has hostility towards the Arab nations because they're trying to like take over the region. They want to take over the Hormuz. I think people need to study geography and actually and history goes beyond 1979 and even beyond whatever. So you have to look beyond, it didn't just start there, and that's a false rhetoric. It's like incomplete. So actually the Strait of Hormuz, where 20 to 30%, I know we're completely off topic,
no, it's all good.
20 to 30% of the world's oil passes through there. It actually is, I think it's the south of Iran, so or the north, I'm not sure which part, I have to confirm. But the Hormuz is a part of Iran, and it's also shared with Oman.
Yeah, they're like literally, I think Oman's like a tip, and then Iran's on the other side of that tip.
Correct. So it wouldn't actually be beneficial for Iran to go and, obliterate Oman to get that small piece. They already have most of it. Right?
Exactly.
So that rhetoric that Iran is doing it for power in the region is incorrect. And then also, if you look at history, I'm seeing a lot of people now advocating for the return of the son of a previous dictator.
I saw that too, and he's like, nope.
That's interesting.
Like that I'm not gonna stand. I will never stand by it, because they are waving white and blue flags.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot stand behind that. I
saw
sorry.
that at university in front of the U.S. Embassy.
Yeah.
There were Iranians standing there with Iran and the white and blue flag held together.
It's a very small percentage.
Mhm.
There are, I think in Iran, I
Mhm.
did a little bit of research. There's about 93 million Iranians inside the
Mhm.
country.
Yeah.
And so maybe there's a few million outside in
Mhm.
different parts of the world. I guess a lot of them are in Toronto and maybe Los Angeles, some
Mhm.
Vancouver. So let's say there's just under 100 million. And I
Mhm.
think the ones that have come on the street are maybe under a million. So they represent a fraction
Yeah.
of that number. And I'm not, I love everybody. I don't have
Mhm.
a problem with people unless they start a problem.
Yeah.
But I used to wear hijab
Mm.
Mhm.
and, for 17 years, I didn't take it off because I was like anti-Muslim or anything.
No.
Mm.
I had obviously hair shedding stuff, so that's a different thing. But
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wear it back, put it back on, inshallah.
Inshallah.
But I'm born and raised here.
Mhm.
The only people, which I didn't have much knowledge about politics or anything like that
Mhm.
back when I was in university, the only people
Mm.
that approached me and had a problem with my hijab
Mhm.
were supporters of the Shah.
Really?
And
Oh
they were-
yeah, you know what? Yeah,
Interesting.
because
Yeah.
I've heard they're
Really?
very anti-Muslim.
I believe they are Islamophobic.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to do so. From what I read,
Mhm.
he actually, the first Shah, his son now Reza Pahlavi, but his father was obviously also Muhammad Reza Shah.
Mhm.
He, from what I understood, imprisoned people, or he stopped people, try to get a woman to stop wearing hijab. He was
Mhm.
implanted into Iran by the American government.
Yeah.
Preceding him was, I believe, Muhammad Mossadegh.
Mhm.
I won't say with an Arabic accent. He was an Iranian guy, but he has an
Yeah.
Arab name. So there was Islam in Iran way
Mhm.
before these
Yeah.
people, the current
Yeah.
regime is there now. So he was planted by the, I think what happened was Mossadegh was trying to nationalize the
He
oil
was.
reserves.
Yeah.
And so then when the UK,
Mhm.
England, they got whiff of this news,
Mm.
and the US, they quickly had this thing. They overdrew him. They overthrew him,
Yeah.
and they implanted the Shah, and he basically is a puppet of the
Mhm.
West.
They
Yeah.
they basically, the way they did it is they gave resistance groups. There's always some resistance group in a country.
Yeah.
They essentially did what they do in a lot of other countries, whether it be Afghanistan as well.
Yeah.
They gave weapons to the resistance group.
Mm.
They were able to overthrow the government, and that's how they didn't actually go in themselves, like Venezuela or something,
Got
Yeah.
it.
where they literally went in themselves
Yeah.
and took their president.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
All still unconstitutional
Yeah,
and
yeah.
inhumane.
Yes.
So when they overthrew Mossadegh, they brought in the first Shah.
Mhm.
He was there for quite a few years, and then the people, he was actually very crazy. I think, I was just reading about the things. Actually, I know people personally that they told me that he was not who these the supporters right now
Mhm.
paint him to be, the saint that everybody loved.
Mhm.
He was not that. He was a dictator, and he did kill people. He did imprison people. So I mean, pointing fingers at the current regime and then asking for the the son who actually fled Iran 47 years ago.
Yeah.
I was trying
He's
to
in,
get up.
Tanzania? Where is he?
He's in
Zambia?
California.
He's in California?
Yep. So he
You're
went
way
and
off.
he's a pilot in the
Oh,
States.
Okay.
He was basically exiled because of his father, but he
Yeah.
hasn't been to the country
Yeah.
in 47 years.
Wow. And they're
They live
asking
there.
for him.
Yes, and he is actually backed by Bibi and Trump,
Really?
which is ironic
Yeah.
because they were the people here that were protesting. They
Mhm.
were asking for him because they don't like the regime. Okay,
Yeah.
let's say fair. Let's assume that's what it was.
Mhm.
Already skeptical, asking
Mhm.
for the U.S. and Israel to help you.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's say what's this guy's credentials?
Mhm.
Nothing. He has no political
Yeah.
experience.
I don't think
Nothing.
he's even was he interested? I don't even know if
No,
he's
the
interested.
crazy thing is they're advocating that women have no freedom.
Mhm.
I want to point out that a quick Google search
Mhm.
will help you with so much.
Yeah.
Or even ChatGPT.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Iran has their women have one of the highest rate of education, and
I
not
saw
just
that.
basic
Mhm.
education in STEM, so
Yeah.
science and tech and stuff.
Mhm.
Highly educated, and they're
Mhm.
very smart people. So
Mhm.
this idea that they're oppressed and they have to stay home,
Crazy.
there might be obviously other
Well,
things
it's all
there.
propaganda, right? So
Yeah, exactly.
there may be some truth to a little bit of truth, but they'll not extend
Exaggerate it.
it.
Yes.
as
You
much
have
as
to
they
sell
can.
your story. You have to build a case.
Mhm.
Exactly.
And so I felt sad at first. I was like, oh, that's so sad.
Mhm.
There's protesters, they want their rights. But then I looked into it and I was like, wait a minute, you can always protest. Like, it's not as, like, even in any country, like, even if you go to Saudi, people are protesting against for Palestine. The government, obviously, you know, overthrew them too.
Yeah.
But if you're in an Islamic country, the laws are the laws, right? But they're not conspiring with anybody. Like, fighting for Palestine was our own people, like, you know, Muslims on. But I think when Iran is very, like, strange, like the case of it, because the protest was coming from outside. Yeah. It was being backed, like, Reza Pahlavi, who is now.
It's not organic.
It's not. He was calling for them to start rioting, and then the U.S. was like, if you guys go, we will back you. Like, the country, they're telling the leaders, if you attack them, which is strange because they were attacking protesters in Minnesota. And then Bibi was backing them, and all of a sudden, the state of Israel was standing behind the Iranian protesters in Iran. I want to point out that as an analytical person, this has nothing to do with me being Muslim or anything like that. There are laws in every country, even in Canada. If you answered, let's say, one of our enemies, let's say, like, it's like Russia is asking you to go create mischief in Canada, cause a riot, that's espionage and treason. Yeah. A law is a law. I don't know what the numbers are. It's very people are saying it's inflated. I hope not. Casualties and loss of life is
like the thousands that were
lost in Iran. I'm sure there were casualties and people died, and I'm very sad. Like, a life is a life. Every life it's a miracle. You know, just to, like, the mere present. My brother is a doctor, so I think when he was going into medical school, like, you know, you have to go through, like, different rotations. I think his spirituality peaked when he was in the gynecology rotation. And he became, like, he's a Qadi too, and we are, like, you know, obviously Muslim. But I think from what I recall, he was more inclined and spiritual when he saw, like, life coming into play and the sacrifice of the mother. And so that stuck with me. I'm not a science person, so that clicked, right? And I like to collect data. So I was like, okay, so life is a miracle. So every loss is sad, and it should be mourned. However, at the same time, the laws are, you're answering the call of the enemy of the state. It is a crime. You know, even in Canada, you would get persecuted for it. So there is, like, a double standard. If US, which it is, like, persecuting its own people, they killed a lot of people, protesters.
This is ironic.
Of course. It is. And these, and then you can't turn a blind eye. And then there was attack from the US and they killed schoolgirls. And
I saw that.
These same people that were crying for the rioters did not bat an eye. They're saying, oh, why do you guys care about the schoolgirls and not about the rioters? Don't take that approach. Right. Say we're all, like, all lives lost are sad. So I think they lost me there. When you didn't cry for the little girls because
it didn't work towards their political motives.
It was a direct consequence of what you asked for. And I think, obviously, the U.S. or Israel probably would have attacked anyways, because that's just what they do. But they look for somebody to help subsidize the blame.
Of course they do.
So they picked puppets. And then the ironic part was recently, I think, Trump, he came out, he's like, they're trying to install somebody, like, put them in Iran. And then Pahlavi, and he's like, oh, I'm sure he's a nice guy, which, if you get a compliment from Trump, it's not good. But he's like, yeah, but we're looking for someone more popular. I was like, I thought he was. People out here tell me that.
No, the moment they got what they wanted from them, they threw them in the trash. They're like, we don't need you guys anymore. It's whatever.
That's just how it is with this. You just have to do research. And then with Iran, actually, and the rhetoric that, you know, they're like hostile in the region. So I think, go back to history. Not defending Iran. I'm sure nobody's hands are clean. You know, a lot of governments, Canadian governments, American governments, they all have like blood on their hands.
For sure.
However, it's not fair to just blame one and be selective. Justice is just everywhere, but you also have, if you want to be a just person, you have to be honest. That's what I aim for, transparency always. The reason, like Palestine, they have a resistance group. It's because so much has befallen their people, such tragedy. Like, they had nobody to help them. Like, yes, Iran helped them, or a few other, like, whatever small, like, entities helped them, you need to resist. Like, what else are you gonna do? Like, and that's all you know.
Yeah.
You know, so
and that's the only thing they can do. Like, that's the only thing they have, resistance, right?
Yeah.
Because with that comes hope, and then like, inshallah, with that resistance, like we've seen, it actually helped.
Yeah.
If they stopped resisting 20 years into their occupation, I don't think we would even be talking about the Palestinians at this point. It would be, maybe the whole region would be taken over at this point. But the fact they never stopped, no matter what the consequences were, and it did take 75 years, but now change is happening. It's still very slow. We still haven't gotten to where we want to with that situation, but at least the sentiment has changed towards the occupying country. And I feel like with like new leadership, especially in the USA, I feel like after the next election, inshallah, they have elections, you know, even policy might change towards how we deal with that country and how we support that country, and then how we support the people who are being oppressed in that country. So, you know, change is happening slowly.
That's true.
Yeah. And I want to bring it back to how this, I mean, obviously this is a new news, but it's not entirely new, because these are things that have been happening throughout the region, like a lot of Muslim countries, for a long time. And we obviously have people housing bases and like US bases in their country, and we look to those people for guidance. Unfortunately, I don't know why we do, but that shouldn't be the case. But I take that as a learning opportunity or teaching opportunity. Somebody told me, I think it was my mom. No, hold on. It wasn't my mom. It was my mom's student gave her a gift. And now I remember, it was like something, and on it had written, to teach is to love. And I was like, just starting out,
which is a beautiful message.
And I was like, oh, that's nice. That's deep.
Profound.
So I was trying to like, I was like trying to like, you know, envision it and see what it means for myself. And so when I showed up, you know, like many other volunteers at the Mektab, every Saturday, nobody gets paid. It's volunteer. Some people come from much further out. Like people come from Oakville. People come from Kitchener. Sometimes the students. We have buses. It's very organized.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yes, we have. It's become this way. Obviously, there was that period during COVID, but we transitioned very quickly to online. And alhamdulillah, we're only able to do that because we have a strong team. So we have about 70 volunteers. We have over 220 students, I think. We teach Qur'an, Dunyat, which is Islamic studies, and Farsi, which is obviously for the Afghans. They teach Farsi there.
Yeah, that's nice.
So the teachers there, they're also very innovative. So they're teaching, but they're also helping progress the students' experience and the curriculum. So the curriculum, we have a few people that they go through it and find, like, make sure it's like you know, what we're teaching is valid, and you know, the sources are correct. And Quran is a little easier because only one Quran.
Exactly.
It's just we have different grades, so we go from like kindergarten. They're so cute. And I wish I could please come to the center so I can give you a tour where I can send you pictures and you guys can post it. They have it's actually, it looks super schooly. So it's like, we had the students, some of our like older students that are teenagers, they painted the walls in the in like the school part of the masjid. And it's like alphabets, animals, and like some things about the planets, and like it's super like thought out, very professional. You would think we hired painters to do it. Like, they're very talented, these students. We like to encourage them to tap into whatever their passion is, and then to use that to give it back to the community. And obviously, like today, I think I got a message from one of my students. She's now like 19 years old, I think, and she's into computer science, or she's in an engineering program, and she's saying, "Salam alaikum, I'm reaching out to you." I haven't responded to her yet because it's just outside your door. And she's like, "Oh, I'm looking for like a position in data analyst." And I was like so shook, happy, shook. I was like, wow. Look at my students, data analysts, like co-op for like summer students and stuff. And I was like, I'm going to get that for her, inshallah. So I'm going to find it. If you guys know anybody, let me know so I can help her out there. But so we actually, obviously we teach them, but we always encourage them to come give back to the community. I was not a student there, but I came back and did things in different ways. But our teachers and our volunteers, they are what drives it. Without them, we are nothing, literally. And we hold meetings, and we have teacher appreciation events. We have parent student like meetings. we have report cards. It's very organized.
Yeah.
So we actually, by the way, the buses, we have 3, I believe. So one comes from the West End and makes like money stops, so like Mississauga area.
Yeah.
And then we have one that comes from like the East End, so it's like
Durham?
Ajax, Pickering, all the way down to like Scarborough. And then we have one that's like a little more north, so it goes, or like so like Richmond Hill, Aurora, Newmarket area, and then it comes. And I think we may have added another one. I'll have to double check.
Yeah.
For like specifically Vaughan area, because there was also a lot of students there. Yeah, so it's very organized. It's alhamdulillah, the center has grown where they can help us subsidize the cost. So the students to attend, they pay, and it's a very small fee for the year compared to a lot of other. It's just a Saturday school.
Yeah.
And we but the experience, there's a lot of things that have shifted. So when I started, going back to what we were saying with my students, they're being boys, I had a bit of a cultural clash because my Farsi was not great.
Yeah.
And a lot of them spoke really excellent Farsi.
Yeah.
Were these boys who were born and raised in Canada, or were they
Very few
also
were born and raised. A lot of them
Okay.
had come.
Oh, okay.
From at that time.
Yeah.
Like for the boys that I was
Okay.
teaching.
Mhm.
There's a lot of students that now, like because I've been teaching for like 14 years, they're probably like 8 or 9 years old, whatever. They're born here.
Yeah.
But
Got it.
it's still a mix. A lot of people are born and came here, and a lot of them come from like, like humble beginnings. So I think also like this ideology, like woman versus men kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I was taunted a little bit.
Really?
They're like, why is a girl teaching us? Like, oh, what are you doing here? And then I would say, like, the way I would speak was kind of like Farglish, but also even when we speak, it's like Farsi English.
Yeah.
But also when like when you speak Arabic,
Yeah.
if you speak English and then switch to Arabic, like there's an accent that comes off. Like my Arabic is not bad. Like when I
Yeah.
read Qur'an, I can read it. But then switching back, there's like a little bit lost there. Okay, so
Yeah.
we get salam, and they're like, oh my god, what's wrong? And they would always call me like, I was taunted. I was called like the white girl for so long. And they would,
Really?
yeah. And then I had one student. He was born here. He was like ginger. So it's like, but
Oh.
Afghans are very like diverse.
They are, yeah.
Like super, like everyone looks very ambiguous and different. So even him and I bonded, and like he's a great kid, and he was like so nervous that he would, if I'm not mistaken, he would stutter. And then we worked on it, and like I had a co-teacher came in, and he was actually another qari. He's I've known him since childhood as well, from the center, and his sister is my friend. And so he was my co-teacher, and they respected him a lot more because I think maybe they were scared. He's like a bigger guy.
Yeah.
He's buff. He's young too. He's like a couple years older, but he's a
Yeah.
buff guy. So if they taunted me, he would say something, and they would be like, "Sorry."
Wow.
Could also be like just a traditional, because they're also coming from
Yeah.
back home. They're like, usually men versus women. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, they're gonna look at the men.
That's what I was saying. Like it gets passed
Yeah.
down. Like whatever like happens at home, you can
Yeah.
see it through the kids, like what conversations happen in their house or around them in their circle.
Yeah.
It's you have to observe a lot, and I
Yeah.
love kids, like whether they're like 2 years old or like 20 years old, 10 years old, whatever. Sorry, like everyone has something to offer.
Yeah.
So I have no regrets. Even like I have none. I'm so happy with every experience I've had. Ironically, there was one guy that taunted me the most. He has become, he's now in his mid-20s.
Yeah.
He's become like one of my closest allies. And
Oh,
he's
really?
like, yeah, like he came back. He teaches now. He's very smart. He went to the University of Waterloo. He's now married to one of my other students.
Oh,
Yeah.
no way.
Yeah. So it's also a place, like they're both in their 20s, like
Yeah.
mid-20s. So both very smart. And,
Yeah.
like, I'm like, it's so weird. Like I went to their wedding, their nikah, and I was like, wow, either I'm getting old or this is just how life is.
You know what's so weird? As you're saying all of this, there are like so many parallels to our
Yeah.
upbringing, because unfortunately the school that we went to, like we never had a building.
Yeah.
So it didn't last as long. It didn't, turn into what you have now. But when we did have it, like we grew up first as children going to the classes. Like it was literally
Yeah.
Saturday school as well.
Yeah.
We learned both religion and Quran
Arabic,
at the same
yeah.
time. And then as we grew up, when we aged into like grade 11 or 12, they're like, okay, now it's your turn to do the same. So they would teach us,
Yeah.
or like at least they would tell us, okay, like, what do you know? They would kind of test us a little bit and be like, now you're a teacher. So
Yeah.
like you would be either a religious teacher or a Quran teacher as well. And same thing. We saw the kids, we would, growing up, like you were a teacher as well, right?
Yeah, I taught
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Arabic.
Yeah, I taught
Hey,
religious.
Sarah,
Yeah.
let's go.
so like exactly the same thing. We saw these kids as they were growing up as well, and literally like in the past few years we've been seeing them also start marrying each other. Literally, the kids who were in the same classes are starting to marry each other.
Not kids marrying each other. Now they're adults.
Sorry,
Yeah, I
yes,
guess
they're
so,
adults.
yeah.
I know in my head I say, like, even my siblings are turning like 21 in like 2 weeks or whatever, and I still refer to them as kids.
Same.
Oh, same.
Yeah.
We see them all the time. I'm sure if some of them are watching this, I'm always like, yeah, like the younger kids. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
exactly.
They're literally like mid-20s right
and
now.
they're like so tall.
Yeah.
Yeah, like-
Why is everybody so much taller now?
You know what?
It's so weird.
It's the food.
What's funny?
Maybe,
it's the
yeah.
food, but
Yeah.
like when you were saying that the boys were taunting you, I had flashbacks because the class that I taught was grade 5 and 6 split.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the boys were just now going through their growth spurt.
Yeah.
And the number one thing that every single like preteen
no.
boy is like, I'm taller than you, I'm taller than you.
I knew that was coming. I was always tall.
Yeah.
So it bothered some guys.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, because you're
Yes,
taller
yes.
than them.
I actually, when I used, like, side note, I used to work at Popeyes. Like, my dad
Mm-hmm.
and, like, our family, like, we had a couple Popeyes locations. We still have them.
Yeah.
Halal, ours.
Okay.
And so
Yeah,
there
tell
was...
me those locations.
Yeah.
So one is in Richmond Hill. It's on Times Avenue and Highway 7, I believe. And the other one's on Leslie and Elgin Mills.
Shout out Popeyes.
Shout out Popeyes. And I used to work with, like, there were a couple Afghan guys there. So we always try to give back to our community. So when they came in, my uncle hired them. And one guy, he was a little shorter than me, like not super short. And then I noticed that he needed help getting something from one of the shelves.
Yeah.
So I helped him.
How nice did you feel?
I was offended at first because he said no. So what he said was, I think it offended him because that same thing, like men and women, like men are like supposed to help women. They're like kind of superior to men, a woman, sorry, whatever. And so I think it bothered him that I don't know how else he was planning on getting it, but I tried to help him. So, and I did. And then instead of saying thank you, he said, he's like, I don't know why God gave you so much height. Like, what are you gonna do with it? And I was like, in my head, I was like, I didn't say anything rude, but I was like, I just helped you. My height helped you. God, the height that he gave me helped you.
Yeah.
Now you have a box in your hands. Say thank you. And but I was like, oh man, this guy, like, that was funny. I wasn't offended or anything, but I was like, it's okay. I'm like, you'll find someone. Like,
Yeah.
your own size.
How ironically enough, he married a tall woman.
I don't follow him like that.
Yeah.
Like after I left, I only worked there for a couple of years, maybe a little less. But from what I understand, he obviously, like most men, marry the same height or shorter.
Oh, okay.
I think he did. But yeah, I think growing up, like there was like I think mostly I actually grew until I was 22, so I was like 18.
Wow.
When I was, I never knew.
Mashallah.
And I
Yeah,
never
they say
thought
like you
about
don't
it.
stop growing technically until 25.
Yeah. Oh really? I thought it was like 20.
That doesn't
Is
apply
it-
to me.
Is it not
unfortunately.
25? Or maybe it's your
Okay.
brain.
Yeah,
your
your brain
brain
develops.
Yeah, the
Develops
frontal
at
lobe
25.
develops at
That's what
25.
it is.
That's
Yeah,
correct. Yeah.
sorry, yeah.
But yeah, I think there's like growth spurts for brothers and sisters are different. So actually when I was when I was 18, I was like 5'7", and then at 21 or 22, I went somewhere and they measured my height and I was 5'9". So I was like, oh, that's great. I didn't think much about it because it's just there.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
who cares? You know, it's just height.
Not knowing like the average height of a man is like 5'7" or something like that.
I had no idea. My brother and I are the same height. Both my brothers.
Oh,
So,
where
yeah.
did you get your height from? Are your parents tall?
My dad, he was 6'1", but my
Wow.
mom's side, my grandfather from my mom's side was quite tall.
Okay.
And strong.
Yeah.
My mom's side's Syed, so I think there is some Arab in them. Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
But like obviously so many generations. I don't even know if there's anything there. But
Yeah.
if I got any of it, it's probably through them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was a side note. So these boys in my class, say whatever, but I still love every single one, and I see them all now, and they're like grown, and they have careers, and they
Yeah.
have wives, and
Mm.
I have no resentment. Like, it's not them. Like, it's okay. I used to have things that I thought were true, and then I just had to grow up and do some research and realize I was wrong. And you have to be, humble enough to say, oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And apologize to people. But now if I don't know, I don't say anything. Because it's like, it's not because I have a problem apologizing. It's because once you say something, the feeling that person feels, that's what you can't take back.
Yeah.
Initially. Yeah. So that's what is hard for me too. I don't like hurting people. But so then the girls I had also, I had this the first class that I had, they were also like 10, 12, 13-year-old girls. And I think the one thing that struck a chord with me and another girl in my other class, but this one was like, they were saying how, like I was talking about war-torn country and education not being like focused on their prioritized because fight or flight. She said, yeah, you know, like my mom said, just like graduate and then you're gonna get married. And I have no problem with
that's
marriage.
typical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was like, but she's like, but can you talk to my mom? I want to be a lawyer. And I actually studied pre-law.
Oh,
And
okay.
before that I did a year in business, but I took off a semester going into my second year because my grandfather who raised me got sick. He got cancer, and from what I understood, it was very short. Would I do it again, take off time from school and elongate my education? 100%. He gave me so much. I would do it 1,000 times over. So I did that, and then I was like, sure, I'll do that. I'll talk to your mom for you. And it's not the mom's fault, because what does she know?
Yeah.
Get married because someone has to take care of you.
Yeah,
you know?
that's what
Yeah.
they've been taught too.
Yeah. And the family is very humble. They had not much, and they came, and the girl, I love that she wants a higher education, if not just for, you know, financial stability or for education purposes, just to be more enlightened.
Right.
Just Islamically, it is incumbent upon every Muslim to seek education from the cradle to the grave, from the lips of the Prophet. That's how it is. So to be an uneducated Muslim, it's not, it doesn't align.
Yeah.
So I said, okay. And then I talked to her mom. She was a little, it was hard for her. And she thought I'm a little more westernized, so this is just my ideology.
Yeah.
And then I told her, I'm actually a Qur'an teacher. I'm a Qari, and I do a lot of other things. And I kind of reverted myself into Islam. You're born a Muslim, but you're not really a Muslim until you find the faith yourself. And I'll talk a little bit about my upbringing in that sense, of spirituality sense. Yeah, and then I think as of recently, maybe like within the last 3-4 years, I heard that that girl has become a lawyer, or she's going to law school or something.
Really?
I'm not saying it was me, but it's a proud moment for me because
Take a little
and
bit.
a lot of plans.
Yeah, I guess.
if we are doing minute work, I
Yeah.
will do that work. If it's 1 grain of sand, I'll take it.
Yeah.
But it was heartbreaking for me to see the difference of how I, as an Afghan Muslim, what my life is like and what their life is like, because of like just my parents got out before, or my parents had a little more education. And then what really broke me, so I'm an aunt. I have a niece and a nephew, and my brother's kids, Amina and Hassan. And so when I got news of my niece, it changed me. She's a little girl. She's going to be an Afghan girl, a Muslim girl. And then I also had so I'll come back to that, which is shapes a lot of like change and growth that I've had to, you know,
go through
myself. Alhamdulillah. It's like all change, all growth is change, but not all change is growth.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can revert back and go the other way. But there was one girl, she was a refugee, and I think it was just before COVID. She had just come with their family. Her name was Arzo. Wonderful girl. Such a kind soul. She didn't speak much for English, and at that time my Farsi has gotten better because I'd already been at the school for so long. I was reading the little Farsi books and I was trying to speak more.
Yeah.
Like my Farsi was not bad. It's just I couldn't hold a conversation, and it would switch. It'd become Farglish basically.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, you know, like boost myself. It was not that good, but now I'm much better.
Yeah.
But she came in, and as a new student, she came in like halfway through the semester, and it was very obvious that she was new.
Yeah.
And I wanted her to feel welcome and safe here. So I was like, oh, you know, welcome. And like, imagine all these girls are your sisters. Like, because obviously the classes, after a certain age, the girls are separate from the boys.
Yeah.
Which is great because I think it actually does help them learn better.
Yeah.
And then she goes, so she was telling me how they came and they're staying with a family that they knew from here. And so me, obviously, because I can't keep my mouth shut, I was like, yeah, well, what's better, Canada or Afghanistan? Like, would you like being here? She's like, but I wasn't like offensive. I was not trying to be offensive.
Yeah, you're just asking. For you, it's a simple question.
I want her to like tell her story and tell us how she feels. I want her to be happy to be here. And though she was, what she said really caught me off guard. And I was like crying on the way home. I didn't cry there.
Yeah.
Because she didn't say anything to me directly, but it just struck a chord. And she said, everybody loves their home. But when it's stripped of, like in Farsi she said it, but when it's stripped of opportunity and there's no compassion left and there's no future, you have to leave your home and look for somewhere else. 8 years old.
She said this at 8 years old.
She's 8 years old. I stopped talking for a second. Sometimes it's better to just be quiet and listen. And I actually think I was in shock. And then the other girls were like just talking amongst themselves. I was like, oh, what was I doing at 8? And I was thinking, I was like, yeah, trading my Pokemon cards and not worrying about a bomb falling over my head, or if I have access to school, clean water, if my parents are dead or alive when I get home. It shook me. It really did. And like I said, I've never been to Afghanistan. So the people in the community are my point of access to Afghanistan. And I live through them vicariously. So a lot of the elders, I can see, we have a large community of Hazaras in our center, and they are a minority in Afghanistan, and they're highly persecuted, and they're visible. They have a very distinct look to them.
Is that like a specific ethnic group within?
Yes. So Afghans have many ethnic tribes. So we have like the the Hazaras. We have so many different ones, right?
Okay. Got
the Turkmens and all that, and the Pashtuns and whatever. But like, they're highly persecuted, and I have a lot of friends that are Hazara. I am so proud of them. Like, from where they came from, they're holding high positions, very educated, and a part of me, like, obviously, I think when I got into teaching Qur'an or holding events or doing anything that I do with the community was just to help the community. I love my community. It wasn't always that way. We had to evolve and grow together, and that makes you stronger. I had sometimes I was like, they don't understand me, and I didn't understand them because like a kid born here, and Farsi is not the greatest, and then trying to understand each other. We share the same faith, of course, and but the struggles make you stronger together. And I'm so glad we all stuck it out. The center has been operating for over 34 years.
Mashallah.
I was born into it.
Literally.
My dad actually, he was one of the founders. I think he helped build the masjid, my grandfather. And there's like many others, like brother Abdullah, Ghai Abdullah, and all them. And they brought their kids. So when I was born, I was taken to the masjid. My parents like, here.
That's like us, basically.
And but obviously they built it also brick by brick alongside their fellow Afghans and Muslims, and so it's just so much more to be proud of. I'm so proud of the elders in our community. A lot of them had little to no education, but they persevered. They're filled with the love. They're filled with the light. Like Nur ala Nur really shines through them. And I'm so blessed to have been on this path. Like, just like where you are in life is not a coincidence. It's Allah puts you where you need to be.
Exactly.
And for that, I am so grateful. I can never thank God enough. And I think a lot of people, they have difficulties in life. And as a Qur'an teacher, as somebody who's born in the West, and I know there's a lot of ideologies and a lot of false, but there's also a lot of truth. There's a lot of mercy. I know people have difficulties in life, and some people resent God. Some people blame God, But I want to just say that if that's the case, look at, and I understand people have the right to have their feelings, and maybe at times our iman falls a little weak, and we go through that too. We have highs and lows, but discipline is important. Fitness people, we know this. But the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was an orphan, no parents. Every hardship in life. I was listening to recently a lecture who reminded me from brother Hussein Maki. He's really excellent if you guys want to venture off. Very great guy, always advocating for the rights of the Muslims and unity and all that. The Prophet was somebody who, if you look at him, he had nothing. He was chosen as a prophet. No ego. Imagine being a prophet. All the other prophets, like Prophet Suleiman, wow, wealth, okay, great, like young dude, and like, whoo, he's like sitting on a throne and all this stuff, like, wowzers.
Even all the power in the world, basically.
All the power, still humble, okay. Prophet Musa had so much faith. The brothers put a stick down and the sea split open, okay. That doesn't happen for us people, okay, but that's because we have to have faith, and I'm sure we do, but like, it has to be unconditional. You have to really trust Allah's wisdom beyond what you understand at that current moment in time. What seems to be like just crazy to you and doesn't make sense, and it's like, how could that be? Like, why would God do that? Like, I thought he was merciful. He is. But our knowledge and our understanding is limited. He is the creator of all things. It's infinite. You will never be to be able to understand. But as a Quran teacher, I will leave you with, there's an ayah in Surah An'am, and ayah 54, I believe. It says, Allah has made it incumbent upon himself to spread be merciful towards you.
I recently read that.
Yes. So I always tell my students this. And being a teacher and like the way I teach, I'll touch on that in a minute, and how I actually organize things in the center, they're different. So obviously one is more logistical and like we have to be quick and analytical and do things, but one has to have more compassion and strategy. That ayah, if you look at the history of the revelation of the Qur'an, it explains a lot. If you look at, because people start the Qur'an and they're like, oh, Surah Fatiha is the first surah. It's placed there, yes, but it's not the first surah that was revealed, right? It's Surah Alaq. So these are things that a lot of people don't look into, but if you do, if you really care and you want to know, you can venture off and like it's so easy. Information is like at our fingertips. You just have to make a little effort, right? But Allah is so merciful. And the word rahmah in the Quran is mentioned, especially in Bismillah. Every surah starts with Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Allah's mercy is mentioned twice as much as his wrath, which means he is more merciful than than not. So his ghadab, which is his wrath, like even less than half. So you really have to, as a Muslim, I think a lot of people think, oh my God, I don't know if I can get into heaven. It's so hard. I missed a prayer. I didn't fast, this and that.
You have to really try to not.
You either have to like really resent God, hate God, or do something crazy, commit so many sins and crimes, like all the big crimes and sins or whatever, not crimes, sins, and to actually get Allah's wrath put upon you. Because he is so merciful, he forgives everybody almost all the time. Like if you hurt other people, there's a dua and it says, وَظَلَمْتُ نَفْسِي, I have brought harm onto my own soul. We do that a lot as humans. We hurt ourselves. We're kind of dumb sometimes. For intelligent creatures, we do very non-intelligent things. But it's beautiful when you read the tafsir, when you read the Arabic itself, it will bring you to tears. Like oh my God, I was so wrong. Allah is so merciful. And this is what I try to teach and lead my students with. And a lot of misconceptions, and obviously the place we live does not help. We have obviously these groups that, like they advocate for us and stuff, but you also have to do your own work. So there's a lot of room in heaven. Hell is created for people like Netanyahu. Try not to get on his level. Or Trump or whoever, like the disgusting people of the world. But try not to get on that level, like you have a lot of time.
You have to really try to get on that level, honestly.
Like it's not even like, there's different layers to heaven. So like there's like 7 layers, right? So there's so much knowledge out there. There's so much truth. You just have to want it. And I find sometimes like people like victim mentality, like, I'm sorry, I'm very like have a good mindset, healthy mindset. If you keep playing victim, you're not gonna get to where you need to be. Get up.
Actually, speaking on like the mercy that you're speaking, Allah's mercy, I think it was Umar Sulaiman. He's like been putting out some like a juz every day. He'll speak with someone on it, and he brought a doctor who was one of the doctors that was volunteering in Gaza, and he was speaking to another doctor who was actually held prisoner and was being tortured. And he was hearing his story and he was telling him everything that was going on inside there, and like it's horrible. I can't even explain it here. Like he was literally in tears as he was explaining this. And he said, like, of all people that you would expect to start questioning Allah and being like, why is this happening to me? He said, like, the doctor's response like changes perspective on everything. He's like, no, Allah might have actually been more merciful on me because maybe he was protecting me from something else, from having me in that prison and being tortured. That might have been actually Allah protecting me from something else. Like that was his mindset in this whole ordeal that was going on. So he said, just like being there with the Palestinian people in general, it changed his whole perspective on what it truly means, or the true meaning of what
Tawakkul
tawakkul.
Yeah.
Tawakkul, yeah. So it was just that everyone should watch that video of hearing their stories. And I feel like this is a universal thing. This is something that happens around the world, but when you're hearing it like firsthand experiences, it's something else.
He is so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has nur on his face. You know he's a good guy.
Yeah.
One thing my grandma told me, or my grandfather's older sister, she's like, when she would see somebody on TV, like any like political speaker, she'd be like, devil. No nur. No nur means you're the devil. And you can see that. Like, where's the nur on Trump's face? He's so orange. There's no nur.
Right?
And
It's
like
literally opposite.
complete opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, like the elders, they have experience. You gotta give it to them. You know.
They have
Yeah.
a wisdom that we
Yeah.
don't. But I wanted to just like touch on what you guys were both saying in terms of having tawakkul. It also ties back to just how do you translate husna then? Not benefit of the doubt, but having a good opinion of your Lord.
Yeah.
Like if you're constantly thinking that you're forsaken or you're reaching a point of, you know, disparity,
Yeah.
it's like you're forgetting that our Creator is the most powerful. Who
Yeah.
can change your situation in the blink of an eye, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We may not be able to believe it because we can't see it in our everyday lives, but a lot of times I think the lack of having true faith in God comes from not being grateful.
Yes, that
You
is
know?
actually exactly it.
Especially
Yep.
for those of us that are here in North America or just like first world countries. We take for granted a lot of things that, like, for example, the 8-year-old student that came here.
Yeah.
We take a lot of things for granted that they would see as like, wow, that's luxury.
Yeah. Just life.
Yeah.
Life is a luxury and we want more.
Yeah. Like you
yeah.
wake up every morning, say Alhamdulillah that you're not 6 feet under and that your time for like repenting and being a better person hasn't come to an end already. You have another chance at, you know, doing better and being better. And of course, as you kind of lightly touched upon it, but it's not linear, right? Like, of course, we want our trajectory to be going upwards always, inshallah. But life is a roller coaster. Your iman is going to go up and down. But I think at the end of the day, you have to have somewhat of a solid foundation in order for it to overall be on a incline rather than like a decline, you know? And we can only ask and make dua that Allah keeps us on the straight path and, you know, keeps us in, I guess, in that trajectory and not falling into disparity, because it's such an isolating and lonely feeling. But it's like when you're finally on the other side and you see the light, you're like, wow, I can't believe I thought that my Lord wouldn't forgive me. I can't believe, you know, like, look at everything that I've been blessed with.
Yep. And I want to segue into my niece being a pivotal moment in my life. I was teaching Qur'an and I actually wanted to teach as much as I could. And I'm actually a fitness freak and I've been into like sports. Like my dad was a soccer coach. That's actually how I met my husband. He was my dad's, he used to play soccer for my dad. So the team that my dad had is now my husband's and he's been very successful. Shout out Coach Rowan. So I've always had this sporty, active life side of me. And gym fitness, and so sometimes like at the beginning I was like super I can relate to Amir, because he's like all his like PRs and all that stuff. Recently I've had to obviously kind of take a different approach because I have like issues with my knees and stuff.
But same here.
Yeah. Be careful, take care of them. I actually have no cartilage left.
Really?
Yes. I've anatomy and also overuse, but also I don't know what happened there.
Yeah,
it's crazy because I'm like, you know, they said it's not very common at like it's becoming somewhat common for people that are like stagnant and that are not active. Because like overweight and all that stuff, it like burns and like, you know, friction. But I think obviously take care of yourself.
I stopped doing like squats with a barbell because I was scared of that reason. So now I just purely do like leg press machine or something like that.
There's so many other, like I was delusional. It took me so long to accept my new reality, and that's why now I like kind of ventured off into this like small little influencer, like trying to help women that have this, or men, whoever, to have this issue, and they can actually still be fit, but usually it's mostly through diet, but movement is very important, and walking is underrated. But yeah, so it's segueing in. So the rahmah of Allah, though it's not linear, it has to be this idea of an exception versus the norm. So if you're at your peak, you know, like most of the times that should be your norm, but like off peak should be the exception. So that should be what drives you in life, right? And the mindset, I'm also very like, and I always was not like this. I try to believe that I was always working towards something important or whatnot. Obviously I try to please my Lord and my community, my parents and my family and my students. A servitude in the name of Allah is the greatest life for me that I could ever live. And inshallah, when I give my life and my last breath, it would be in servitude of my Lord.
Inshallah.
You know, and then, but I was going through such a rough time just before COVID and early COVID, because I had to I fell off my fitness journey because I was working so much. I was working my corporate job and I would go early in the morning, and then I was also trying to do private lessons for Qur'an. So I would go to people's homes, try to teach their kids. And like I did that like 4 times a week, and then Saturdays I had maktab. So I burnt out, and I was like, it's not that I had no faith in God, but I was so tired, and I kind of like, sometimes you just need to realign yourself, and like something has to happen for you to have like this like aha moment. And you know, when I kind of like didn't like the way I looked anymore, I had, you know, like I was just eating out because I had to eat out, and I was on the go a lot, you know, and sitting all day at my desk, then going to people's homes. They're very sweet people. They offered me food
online classes.
Before online classes. And then COVID happened, and then slowed down a little bit, so I was able to like, you know, start reflecting. And I was like, what it was I really missed being healthy, and that really impacted the physical health, impacts your mental health, for me at least, and you need both to be really functioning at your peak. And then I think it was like, and I had hit a real low, and I didn't know like what to do. I was like, I hate the way I look. I had gained weight, and I never had been that way in my life. And it was because I just, you know, life happened. And then I got news that my brother, they were having their first child, and it was a girl. Amina, like the name, they were gonna name her Amina. She's the mother of the Prophet's name. And it was I was here, and my family, because I was working online, and it was like that time of COVID where they're like, okay, in a couple weeks we'll ask everybody to come in. I was like, I can't leave because they'll know I left, because if I come back after quarantine. So I was here by myself, and then my family was all in Florida, whereas my brother and his wife live.
That's why.
And so I was alone a lot, and I think I always like to say like, the Prophet went to the cave Hira alone a lot too, and he had his like revelation there and stuff like that. I was like, it's okay, this was like my Hira moment. The things we tell ourselves, right? Like, being Delulu is not always bad, okay? But it has to lead to something.
Being Delulu is the Salulu.
Salulu. Yeah, you're right.
You've never heard that?
Super colloquial. We'll take it.
Okay.
It's true though. It is true, and it's people that work the hardest that get to that point. But it needs to be followed up with action, right? It's not just like pure delusion.
Right.
But I heard this news, and I was alone. And I remember I was working on my computer. It was late at night. There's nothing else to do. I would work till like 9 to 5. I would do like whatever, go around the house, walk around a little bit, and I like maybe go outside for a bit, and not too much because it was cold. And I was lazy because I wasn't super fit. So I would just like chill and then go back on my computer, do more work. And then when I heard, I was like in tears. And I was like, you know, I went back to the little girl that came, the refugee girl from Afghanistan, the 8-year-old. And then my niece here. And she wasn't even born yet. But it was the most profound love I've ever felt in my life. And it gave me a new purpose in life. And I said to myself, there's so much hurt in the world. I'm hurting. But there's so much worse, right? Like, this is just inside me. And everybody has jihadun nafs, which is like war with your own soul. But I want to be for her like a source of hope. I know that she's going to be born a Muslim Afghan girl, and she will see the state of her people. She probably will not see our land for quite some time. I want to be a source of inspiration for her. And I want her to grow up in a world that, even though there's so much calamity, I want her to know that there is hope, and the people that she trusts around her, like her auntie and her uncles or her mom and dad, that they're doing the best. She was really like such a rahmah and a ni'mah from Allah. I was like, that decision that I made that second, I got up from my spot. I said, what can I do now?
Mm-hmm.
Said, first, I'm going to have to stop feeling sorry for myself, kick my butt back into shape.
Yeah.
It's like, such a loser, Mariam. Get up, right? Like, stop feeling sorry for yourself. I'm like, who told you to do that, right? I'm like, how did this even happen? I'm like, sure, life was tough, but you're tougher. I'm like, yeah, whatever your battles are, Allah's rahmah is greater.
Right.
Just keep telling yourself that. So I got up and cried through it a little bit because I have happy tears, scared tears, little girls coming, and my life had another purpose. I'm now somebody that my niece will look up to. She might look up to me and ask me, you know, the girls in our country, they're little girls like me. It's just circumstantial that I happen to be born in a different place with more opportunity. What are you doing for the girls like me? And so I cried to myself a lot. And sometimes people ask me and I cry because, the little girls in Afghanistan, like, I'm sure there's a lot of people that are oppressed, don't get me wrong, but they really are like a source of inspiration. And I saw recently somebody, you know, like here people go around and like they have like podcasts or whatever, and they ask people on the streets questions. So obviously in Afghanistan, like, people do that too, right? So I saw this one guy, he's like a reporter or something. He was talking to a little girl. She had like her little hijab on and stuff, and she's speaking Farsi, and he's saying like, well, what's like your dream or something? Like, what do you want to do? And she's like, she was crying. She's like, I want to go back to school. I want school to be open. I just want to go back, like, maktab. And like, she was crying, and he was like, don't cry. It's like, God is great. Don't worry. It's going to happen and stuff. And like, the Taliban came back a second time. We got burned by the same flame twice. And it burns you.
Are they still
inside.
not able to go back to school there for kids?
No.
Really?
So after, I think at first it was up to grade 6 that they banned it. And for the people that advocated for them, saying, oh, it's good, the country was getting like too westernized or whatever, like,
Is that why they banned it?
they have different ideologies. I think even the first time they came around, it's the same Taliban new PR team, I would say. Like, they're just, you know, advertising themselves better, and they had a lot of sympathizers. But women not being allowed to work, not being allowed to go to school, like, you need a doctor, you need a gynecologist, you need somebody to, like, the woman's gonna give birth, and if you're so extreme, men cannot touch women.
Exactly.
How is she gonna go to the doctor?
Exactly.
They don't have that scope. They don't have that. They're planted by like proxies, you know, proxy wars around us. So it's just so sad to see. And I'm trying to advocate. I'm huge on education. Always get your education, you know, always make your own, encourage the people around you. And I do this with my students. And I start with the brothers. What I used to do, and I still do, now I have younger brothers, I give them projects. In Qur'an class, we read Qur'an, and I teach them tajweed and all that. But what we do is, what I do is I teach them to apply what the essence of Qur'an in real life. And so I give them this project, and I say, what is a misconception you've heard in Islam? Look at it, go to the Qur'an, find all the ayahs that you can, get the tafsir, like, you go online, whatever tafsir you find, it's really easy now, and go find a hadith, sunnah.com, whatever, there's so many, and build your case and tell me why it was false or why it's true, what's the importance, what's the significance. And I encourage them, the boys, to pick up on women's rights. And I said, these are the topics, pick. And a lot of them did. And they came back, and I also do this because I want them, before they get to university, to learn how to do proper research. And I said, if you don't know, ask me. And we have a WhatsApp group, like, very organized, like all the different grades they have a WhatsApp group, and you can communicate with the parents, with the teachers, and even the students. And it's very accessible because we're also a community, not just a school. And so I asked them, like, if you need help, just ask. And I'm always make myself available because this is what I've committed to. And there were a couple of presentations that blew me away. And they say, like, contrary, some of them, like, you big words, you know, like, it's so cute. Like, contrary to popular belief, women in Islam actually have a lot of rights. Sometimes I'm jealous because it seems like they have a lot more rights than us. So a little research, right? They're like, they're actually not supposed to sit in the kitchen. And, you know, like, they speak, like, so honest. So they're like, did you know? And, like, their tone gives it away. And it's so, like, entertaining to watch, but also at the same time, it's, like, such a proud moment. I was like, good for you, Ilyas. I'm really proud of you.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you found out that women are not subject to the kitchen.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, did you know that we're not supposed to oppress anybody. The women in Islam are not oppressed. You know, the people in the West, they're oppressing us. They really get into it. And I love that for them. And then that actually kind of, you know, desires like fuels that desire for them to kind of like make a quest and venture off into other parts of like Islam that are like a lot of myths in the West. So and then the girls, I do the same thing where like they can look into the women's rights. I want them to know their rights, but also I ask them to look into the rights of others and things like that. And that becomes a project for them, and they get marked for it. And a lot of them do really good. They get creative. Some of them have PowerPoint, some of them have Bristol boards, like, you know, like
kids still use Bristol boards.
They still use. They're so creative.
Wow.
One student had lights around it.
Really?
I give them extra points. Yeah,
Okay.
of course, yeah. I'm a sucker for packaging.
I really didn't think kids like did arts and crafts like that anymore.
Oh no, they love it.
Online.
We encourage it. I
That's
think we
good.
do have events like
people are
our
moving
ACE
back
team.
towards analog. Okay.
Yeah,
Really?
it's necessary. Being like back then when we were kids is actually the healthier way of being kids.
Yeah.
Like going outside playing chalkboards and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, chalk is not healthy, but it's better than, you know, like computer screens all day. And research helps you a lot. So I think
critical thinking.
The other day, this girl was telling me like, oh my God, like there was like a lecture, and I think the topic was like how to like think properly, or what you can do like to retain knowledge and actually help whatever. And then I think somebody said like, just think, like don't let something else think for you, just think. And then the girl was like, I'm like, yeah, actually, you know, there was a study done that if you like don't always just type on things, but if you write, because there's like mind to muscle, you know, it connects. And while you're writing, the retention is like 40 to 70% higher. So you do better that way. Like it's old school, but it's gold. Old is gold. And she's like, oh, it's kind of like really old people do that, but I'm like, no, it's smart people do that.
Exactly.
Do it. And she's like, oh, I didn't know that. I was like, yeah, it's great. Do it. Like a lot of the youth, like everything online is super like fresh, like 5G, 6G. Like it's nice to have these things, makes things efficient. But at the end of the day, like some of the things we had, like they will never know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Trading Pokemon cards. When I see kids doing Pokemon cards,
My
I get
Hey, it's coming back.
My
It's
nephews
coming
are
back.
really into
Yeah.
it.
If you collected some of them, look into the
I
value.
wish.
Yeah.
I was literally talking about this to someone. Oh, I was literally talking about it to my wife. Like, we saw how much they were worth, and I remember having like, you know, the Charizards
They're probably
and the
in like the
Blastoids,
shed or something.
but we can't find them. They're
You
probably
look?
they're somewhere, but we just can't find them.
Yeah.
We searched.
I know my brother
they'll
had
show up. Don't worry.
binders of them.
Yeah.
Make dua.
Inshallah.
Have faith.
Yeah, exactly.
Tawakkal.
But hopefully they're in good quality still, because that's what really matters. Like they have to be in
Yeah.
those sleeves.
They will. People will still buy it. It's just the condition. They'll pay you for that condition that
exactly.
it's in. My brother actually side quest. He's like a nerd too.
Yeah.
He does like sport cards and stuff. Like he's called
Sport
like
cards are huge too.
he's
Yeah,
like
they
he's a
are.
super like he's obsessed with sports. Like he's played soccer too. Like obsessed with football. Like he's an all around natural athlete. I don't know how he has time. He's like a doctor. He has 2 kids and his wife, and his wife's an attorney.
We'll find time to be
he'll
nerds.
when you love something, you will make time
Exactly.
for it. Yeah.
It's true.
He does like it's called like I think he goes by Florida Gator MD. So he like you get the cards, like you buy them and it's like at random, and then you like it's called like you rip it open.
Oh,
and you show
yeah,
it
I know
live.
what that
My
is,
coworker has like he's a trader as well. So
and like
he
always
talks
the
about
last
it.
card is like the special one, so they
Yeah.
might like they'll like slowly get to it and then reveal it.
Yeah.
I was like, Ali, what is this? And then I was like looking. People are into that.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
I'm
really.
into it sometimes,
This
man.
is a whole
Yeah.
thing. Like they make a lot of money.
It's a
from that.
niche and people like it.
I just
And
like seeing people get excited about those things. Yeah.
Yeah, like to be honest, you have to be fair about it. Like I get excited when like a new podcast drops, like Thursdays with you guys. It's like a pre-Jummah celebration. Yeah, like we all love Jummah.
Yeah.
But like when I go home, like I'm on the go train, like I put my headphones in and like I see and nothing. I just like I have premium, so I can just like like if I want to watch,
Yeah.
I do. But I just put it in and I
Same.
relax. Yeah.
We
So
have premium too.
it's, thank you guys. You're
Well,
giving my commute.
Except for the weeks where we miss, but
Yeah, I
Look,
know.
everyone needs a break. You guys are
Exactly.
really consistent. Like it was the exception and not the norm.
Exactly.
I will advocate for you guys. We all fall off here and there.
Yeah.
So that's those things happen. And then obviously now that's how I teach, and I try to also be a role model and not just teach Qur'an, because that's so like just tunnel vision.
Yeah.
So like I also tell them like, look, I'm also your friend. So if you have troubles with school, I talk to them sometimes like, guys, what are your marks like? How are you doing? What's your grades? Like, what's your favorite subject?
Yeah.
What do you want to? I always ask kids, what do you want to be when you grow up? It's never too early to start having them think about their future. Yeah, you can play and have fun like your kids. Yeah, do that. But always put that in their minds that they're worth more. You know, they will be something. Like, they just have to remember that they are, and that's their goal. So I always tell them, and I bring it up often, and I tell them like, you know, as a Muslim, like you have to be the best of everything, and like you have to be the best Muslim. Like, and one kid, I remember when he told me he wanted to be like a real estate agent, I was like, good for you. I'm like, that's good. He's like, yeah. He's like, lots of commission. I'm like, great. And the other kid's like, I want to be a doctor. The other one's like, I want to be a data analyst, or like, there's so many. Like, one wants to be something in the arts. I can't remember what it was, but I was like, when I first heard it, because it's very uncommon to me. I'm not an artistic person, but when I heard it, I was like, that's really cool. It was like more
like
along,
a graphic designer, or
no, I think it was like when they write scripts, or maybe like a producer,
like a
or something.
screenwriter or
Oh,
something?
I know what
that.
you're talking about. I know the shoot, I can't remember the word right now.
And they're very good. You know what they
shoot,
do?
can't remember.
It's like they like to. I gave them opportunity to lead one of the speeches for like one of the events. Like I encouraged them to come speak because they're very good at like commentating and like writing scripts and stuff like that. And I was like shocked. And he's a young kid, tall, looks like really much more mature, but like good for him, you know, like that. I never heard that, but he has a passion for it. I was like, go for it. Like, you know, it's such a niche. I'm sure
we're getting to those generations where they're finding like the niches of the jobs that are like you've never heard of, like they're a niche of a niche.
Yeah, even YouTube, I was like,
huge.
people that were doing it, listen, when I started like using YouTube, it was for like educational purposes. Like I was like, they should make like a university program that you can actually graduate from through YouTube, because it's like there's so many videos, like whether it's math, whether anything, like whatever subject in school, they can do it. And that's what I used sometimes when I needed help, or just some guidance, or like you can like learn Excel. Like I'm an Excel nerd. Like I love Excel. I'm not the greatest, but my whole life is on Excel. Calendar, Excel. People like hate me for their like, you need to relax on that. VLOOKUPs, like pivot tables, all that. Like even just putting the data there and looking at it, I feel special. Okay, like it's great. So those are the things that I want to like obviously, you know, instill in my students and see them excel, inshallah. And then that kind of also segues into our Qur'an competition. Some of their students are competitors there. And then this is Canada wide, so people from other centers come. It's primarily like our people because they're aware of it. But we do get a number of other centers come in and at different levels. And then the top level is like advanced Qur'at, where like they read for like 7 or 8 minutes, 7 minutes I think it is, and they do like they hit like different maqams, right? And that's the highest. And
also like as they're doing, they have to change
melodies. That's correct.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
I was gonna ask, I'll be like, there's only so far you can go with the Quran competition, because then once you like memorize the Quran, it's like everyone's kind of gonna know it.
So we do have groups of hifz, right? So we have tartil, hifz, and qira'at, right? So
you judge for different things.
So then we have different marking sheets, right? So I have a group there. It's the ACIC Quran committee, so that's another group. And then a great team. Again, my Quran teacher is part of that team. He's also part of the maktab team. Like this guy, he's like so successful in his own life too, and then he's doing all this. Like I think we would collapse without him. Fair to say. Okay, I would probably not be who I am today. He's one of those really special people. Shout out Agha Tahiri, or brother Tahiri. So he does a lot. And then we also have like such great leaders. And I want to point out that from where my people came from, I mean, I am now part of this group. I know I have no problem with anybody. I obviously had like a little bit of an identity crisis, being an Afghan born outside Afghanistan, trying to acclimate with my peers that were not. But of course, at the end of the day, like we settle our differences and we all acknowledge and love each other. And that's the best feeling in the world. I've cultivated some of the best friendships and groups through this, and they are all educated. Alhamdulillah, we have people running the maktab, architects, engineers, entrepreneurs,
and these are people that you need to run these communities, because a lot of the things, like let's say you do need to develop a new wing of a building or like build something, you literally have someone there who can do it for you. You don't have to get an outside resource from these things. They're all there for you already.
And the labor cost we save.
Exactly.
So it's amazing. Like every time I go, it's something like not every time, most of the times I go, I always complain I'm that girl. Like my Quran teacher, our relationship is so unique. Like, and everybody knows it. Like usually when I'm leading the Quran competition is in 3 segments. So we have the competition, then we have the award ceremony, which is it's more of like a fun show, and then we have the Bahar Quran Mahfil, which is like just we highlight the showcase, which is coming up on the 15th of the people that were winners. We just obviously put them on display and they come and recite, and it's basically closer to the 27th of Ramadan, which is the completion of the Quran, so people can come listen, engage with the Quran. It's just beautiful. And so when it's the award ceremony, it's kind of become a little bit of a staple where I'm up there like emceeing, but I'm not just emceeing, I'm having like a side convo at the same time. As a younger, like when you bicker with your sibling, he's much more mature, alhamdulillah. I bicker with him, like not like actually bicker, but like side convo, sidebar, whatever, with him in front, and it's become something that's like now known to the community.
So you guys have been doing this annually.
It just came into play. Like I'm very candid. Like sometimes like I should think a little more. I think when it like analytically, but when I get comfortable, like they're all my people. Like there's a room, it's like the ceremony, like maybe like over 1,000 people are sitting there, maybe 1,500, whatever, and he's over here, and like the other guy as well, like other team members, and I'm like, so I mean, if Allah targeted this, like just little quirky comments.
We did something similar to that like a few years ago, where we did a presentation in front of our whole community. It was like super relaxed. We weren't super like stuffy or anything on stage. We were just
it's better to just be
organic and natural, and it provides a show. I'm not trying to make it a show, but I like people that watch online, because we do have our IT team, they stream it sometimes, and I get while I'm up there, like my phone's like get messages from some of like my friends, so like, you're so funny, like I can't believe you just said that. I'm like, oh my god, what did I say? I have like no filter sometimes, and I am like,
sometimes you do forget what you're saying.
But I'm so like just what is on my mind. I try to be as honest as possible, and sometimes it's really good to be honest, but sometimes there is like discernment is needed.
Sometimes, yes.
But I think what I was told, like I was trying to like practice it, and they're like, don't like change. They're like, just keep your character.
People like that. People like feeling like, you're not trying to be too formal. Like we're all here, just trying to vibe out and have a good time, basically.
So it works, it works. Like if, I'll try to cool it sometimes. Now I'm a married woman, so you have to be a little more professional. But I'm pretty sure like everyone knows like my character and stuff.
They've gotten used to it by this point.
I think, if you haven't, then you're new. But so it's great. And then people come out, and we have like a great team, and we mark them based on different groups. So like tajweed is huge. So tajweed basically is like the vocabulary and essentially what it means, it's to give the right, because I don't know if you guys know this, but the Qur'an as we know it doesn't, those like the fatas, the damas, the kasras, that's not how the Qur'an was actually revealed to us. So the fusha, the Arabic that's in the Qur'an is fusha, which is the original Arabic. And the tajweed is there to help us and guide us, recite it in the way that it was meant to. So it means it's meant to give the right to the letter or whatever, so that we can not, like...
when we were children, we had to learn the tajweed as well.
Alhamdulillah, a lot of people don't. And like Farsi is like the same letters, a few extra ones. So it was harder for me to learn though, because unless you know the word, there's no fatha, no dhamma, no kasra. You just have to, it's just straight recitation. And because I don't know a lot of the words, I struggled. But I started with the book, and the book was like something about a little bear. It was so cute. I was stuck on it for a while, but I got it. And I was so proud of myself. So these competitions, they're meant to cultivate that environment for people to find excitement in the Quran. And like I think you touched on like, where do you go after this? So the Quran recitation world is a huge world. There's so many. So I don't know if you guys
getting
know,
on my timeline on TikTok. So
so if you guys know, there's a reciter, like I think he's Egyptian and mixed something, but his name is Qari Ayub Asif. Super amazing, like for his age, like very young and like very fresh, like I think he's from England. Amazing reciter. He goes on like world tours. So they brought him, I think, for the last 10 days of Ramadan to Canada through Penny Appeal. We were trying to get him. He was pretty booked, but also very expensive. And it just didn't coincide with our schedule for our March 15th program. But I have loved them for like the past, like before COVID. He took off, I think, during COVID, because more people were getting into like spirituality. They were like scared. Sometimes you need that to get people on the right page. But even that, so what you do as a Quran reciter, I actually used to compete a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
You used to compete?
Yes, yeah. I used to
Oh.
compete a lot more, and there were competitions internationally, and I was really silly to not go to those. I was very like ill-informed or like just ignorant. I didn't have enough
Yeah.
knowledge. Like there was one in like Malaysia or Indonesia, I think.
Really?
And I was much younger. I was like 18, 19.
And you could just go.
Well, no, somebody has to kind of advocate for
Oh, I
you,
see, I
show you
see.
the way kind of
Oh,
thing.
okay.
I mean, I don't know if you can just sign up yourself, but how I found out, somebody told me like, you should represent this and that, whatever. I was like, oh, like, what am I going to do there? I'm like, that's not the type, like the part of the world that I think I can go and just pick up whatever. But yeah, I didn't know, but maybe like it was just not written in the cards for me.
Exactly.
But to know that I was considered, I was like so happy about it. I mean, 10 years later when I finally understood, late bloomer thing, you know. But there's like, you pick, like there's so many like qadis from the past, like Mahmoud Shah Anwar and like Qadi Abdul Basit, like the famous ones, right?
Yeah.
And they recite in so many different ways. And sometimes you have to pick like I actually tried to recite with using the melodies and like the methods and strategies of Qadi Abdul Basit because our tones align more. So like there's some qadis, like their voices and their tones are a little bit more high pitch, and some that are a little more deeper, and then some that are in the middle.
Right.
So it's kind of like it's an art of its own.
Yeah.
So you have to find it, and then you keep evolving that way, and then every surah you master it. So you know how many years so Surah Takwir is one of my favorite surahs to do qira'at to. I recited that surah for years, like I think at least 8 years, to the south of Qari Abdul Basit, and like every time you do it, it's different. Like even though you memorize the way he did it comes out differently every time, and that's the art of it, right? And then you take that and you compete or you recite it somewhere. I was always invited to like ladies events. I would do adhan sometimes recite Qur'an or nawhas or nasheeds, anything to like recite, because that was just my passion, right? But also just to serve, you know, like people needed it. I was like, okay, well maybe, you know, they ask me because they need me and I'm happy to just show up, right? And I did, and I feel like that's also something that a lot of the youth now that I'm seeing. We have one gentleman now. His name is he's from our center. His name is Hamza Ibrahimi, and he's he's been reciting Quran. He's young. I think he's like 17, 16, and from where he came from, he actually, so the Qiraat group that I was talking about, the highest level, they're usually people like 16 above, but most of the time they're like 20-year-olds or like very advanced 18-year-olds that have been reading for like 10-15 years. So he's obviously been around Quran, but I think he has his own like teacher. I have to find out who it is because he's really good. And this year when he was reciting, so we mark the people and then I bring it home. It's like a really like secret thing, like marking them and then like exposing it on the night of, like ordering the medals and like just the logistics of it. There's a lot of work. We have multiple meetings. We start planning a couple months in advance and things like that. He recited, compared to last year, he was in the intermediate qiraat with people that are like 15 years old, 14 years old. And he did good. I think he came first or second there. But he made a leap of faith. He joined the advanced group with the older guys this year. And I was
he's 17.
And he's 16, I think. And you know what? I don't even think I mentioned it at the Jamia, but the only people that know are the ones that saw the marks, which is our committee, the ACIC Quran committee. I was so impressed. He is the youngest in that group, almost, I think, that recited. And I think he came in like 4th or 5th from like
all in 1 year?
Like from the previous year that he recited. I'm so proud of him. He's like made such so much progress. And when you see that, you're like, he's committed at he's born here, raised here, you know, like us, like, you know, it's this rhetoric that like, religious people, like, you know, they come from like the other side of the world, or they're old or whatever, like get over it, bro. Like that doesn't work. Just say you don't want to be religious or you have a problem with people who are religious. Like I'm tired of fighting that war. We exist. The people that come here and the religion that you sold to us, we bought it here and we're doing a much better job. Alhamdulillah.
I wanted to ask you, you know, in your experience now of once being a student, well, I feel like we're all students for life, but now being a teacher, and I feel like you're also part-time guidance counselor to your students.
I would hope so. Yeah.
What is something, if you're able to reflect, like kind of on the spot, I'm putting you on the spot here, but like what is something that you feel like you have learned that has changed you from before being a teacher to now?
when you're a teacher, you're also a student. So my students, I have learned a tremendous amount from them. Like the 8-year-old girl.
Yes.
I learned from her. Or, you know, everything changes, and we have to really give space and time to our youth because they're very intelligent, and we have to give them credit where it's due. They come up with very innovative ideas, very smart things. And just because they're young doesn't mean they cannot, you know, concoct like a genius idea. And a lot of my students, I've seen them create incredible things, whether it's like on the computer or artwork or speech, or, you know, it's the possibilities are endless. But you have to be humble enough to know that it's not, a teacher is not a position where you're in power. You're just in the position to help. So, you know, Allah He reigns sovereignty over all of us. Surah Mulk is one of the ones I suggest everybody recite and read the tafsir, especially during these turbulent times. But my students are my teachers, and if I'm teaching them anything, it is a fraction of what I've done for them. I hope that answers your question. It does. But I also want to take a moment to thank you guys for allowing me to be on the podcast.
Of course.
One of the best experiences of my life, and I hope I was able to I'm nobody really, to be honest. Like, we're all very we're all individuals, have our own lives, and everybody thinks, like, you know, you have to zoom out. We say, like, we shouldn't be selfish, you know. You know, we're just humans walking amongst one another. But I hope that anything I said can help somebody through a difficult time, or push them to do a little better, to maybe look into their faith a little more, or maybe change the perspective in life. One candle can light 1,000. Yeah. So in the month of Ramadan, may that one candle light 20,000, 30,000. The rewards are unlimited right now. So what you guys are doing is obviously on a much grander scale than what I'm doing. I'm limited to one area. Compared to you, you're being humble.
No, those are just numbers, but what you're doing is, you know, it's something else.
It's only because Allah has allowed me to.
And likewise, exactly.
Yeah. But again, thank you so much.
No, of course, we were honored to have you on. I'm glad that you were able to share your story and, you know, your experience. I'm sure those of you guys that are listening at home, I'm sure a lot of them can resonate with a lot of what you said. I know that we definitely did. And it's interesting. I feel like hearing your perspective of going from being a student of Qur'an and just seeing how passionate you are about it has even made me like want to put more time and effort into it. I feel like for a lot of us, we kind of just like we read it casually here and there, and then during Ramadan we try our best to like read it more often. But it's like, no, this is the Qur'an was revealed and it's supposed to be our guide in life. You know what I mean? Of course, with the Sunnah as well of the Prophet and the Hadith, but you know, that's our guidebook, and so we should be referring to it more often and reading the tafsir. I know a lot of us aren't Arabic speakers and we may not understand, but the tafsir exists for a reason, right? And so thank you for sharing your beautiful story. MashaAllah. I feel very inspired leaving this conversation, and I hope that those of you guys that are listening at home, shout out your, like, if you want to, your social media, if anyone wants to connect with you. Maybe if you, like, I wanted to ask actually real quick, the Saturday school, is that specifically for Afghan students, or is it kind of open to?
Other people can join. It's just that the Farsi subject is there. I think you can opt out if, you know, obviously I think there have been in the past people that opted out. But it is open to like other Muslims that want to come. And there are a few others that are not Afghan, I believe, that have joined us in the past. I think there was something that you mentioned about, you know, like people that like you said you had a struggle and you want to like, obviously, how can I overcome this or whatever, a tip. So what you can do, it always starts with the niyyah, right? So you have to make the intention pure. It starts there. But what you can actually do is, Qur'an is very powerful. So you can make a niyyah that I'm going to do a khatam for the whole Qur'an. I'm going to read it just 1 to 30. Okay. Take out, like, let's say I'm going to complete it in a month or two. Like, usually people try to finish it in the month of Ramadan. But obviously we work. Like, even I'm a little behind right now. I'm on like just 8 or something. but I've made an intention for myself that when I finish this, I'm going to do a little bit of a prayer at the end of it, like we do the khatam. And then I'm going to dedicate that towards this, the niyyah that I have, like the dua that I want to make. Like what, like you want to find more rizq, or if you want better health for somebody, if you're having problems conceiving, if you're having problems finding a spouse, whatever it may be, getting into the school that you want, do that. And Allah always answers your du'as, and he always answers it with, if not now, later, if not later, something better. Right? That's just how it is. But
Inshallah.
Just wanted to end on that note.
But also, there's the Qur'an competition that you mentioned is coming up on the 15th.
Yeah, so the competition itself has passed. So now we're showcasing the winners.
Yes.
Yeah, it's called the Bahar Quran Mahfil in Farsi, which basically the event is like the Quran program kind of thing. And you get to listen to all the people that have recited, and we even have the little kids and the girls that they won in their categories, which we like because it inspires the other kids, and they're so cute. And then their voices change as they age. So it's kind of like, I listened to when I was younger and I was like, thank God. Thank God I was not on that stage like at that point. But so it's a wonderful event, and there's a lot of time and emphasis and energy that goes into planning it.
Is it
greatest
open
team? Yeah, anyone can come. We have people from other communities, like other mosques, they come because it's Qur'an.
Exactly.
Like every Muslim is welcome. Even outside that you're not Muslim. We had a few converts. I think 3 weeks ago there was a girl that converted.
Wow.
On the 15th of Shaban.
Wow,
she converted to Islam, and it was the night that we had our award ceremony.
Oh wow.
I was like seeing it because it's in the men's side, and then the women's do come and sit. We do have our own side as well. But I was behind the stage because I was doing the program for our side, and I was just like watching it, like not on the screen from the women's side.
At the actual
in front there was like over 1,000 people.
And
we make time for things, right? So like we have a itinerary. So like, you know, when the imam came at the top, or the sheikh, whatever, he was saying his du'as, and then he was like, oh, we have this sister here today, and everyone was like so happy for her. So I think those are moments that for us it's like winning moments. I was like, welcome.
We'll put the details of the 15th if anyone's interested in going and is able to.
All are welcome. I encourage you guys to come at the center. Just at least see it. I want to show you guys the school, that's why.
Okay, inshallah.
Amazing to see it.
We'll coordinate.
Welcome.
But other than that, thank you again, Mariam, for coming on.
Thank you.
Shout your Instagram.
Oh yeah, we never said that.
I'm Mariam Shah, but it's m.p.shh. And like I think what I'm trying to do is journey to impact. Like I'm trying to do that fitness stuff and like the change. So that's on TikTok, Journey to Impact, and I think on YouTube. I'm new. I'll
send it to me.
I'll send it to Sarah.
I'll link it.
But Jazakallah khair. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for joining us on the pod. And then Amir, I guess you can close us out.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say.
Sorry.
Outside of that, if you guys want to comment on anything that we talked about on this podcast, anything Mariam mentioned, you can put that in the comments down there. Also, just make sure to hit the subscribe button. It's gonna help out. 10K, inshallah. And then
10K before our 10K.
Inshallah. Yeah, exactly. And, Cousin Connection Pod, Instagram, TikTok. But yeah, it's been a long but fruitful episode.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll see y'all next week.
Bye.
Bye.